Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is my great privilege to speak to the Shanghai Forum this morning. Today, I would like to talk about an issue that has been hot in the global news media headlines for years. It's an issue that has gone unresolved for 2 decades, the North Korean nuclear issue. And today, North Korea's nuclear programs, combined with Pyongyang's intransigence and belligerence, its refusal to join in the international community as a responsible actor, once again threaten peace on the Korean Peninsula and the stability in Northeast Asia. As is well known, the Geneva Agreed Framework was a bilateral settlement signed by United States and North Korea in October 1994. It was a political agreement that sought to put to rest the international community's heightened concerns over North Korea's nuclear programs, which materialized back in early 1990s. But the framework collapsed with the revelation of North Korea's clandestine uranium enrichment program in October 2002. At that time, both sides blamed the other for breaching the agreement. But with the assistance of China as a mediator, the US and North Korea were brought back to the dialogue table in the spring of 2003 for 3-party talks. These talks were unsuccessful, but over the span of a few months, they eventually led to a broader multilateral negotiation framework. In August 2003, the 6-party talks would emerge. And for the first time in Northeast Asia, the 6 major actors, that is 2 Koreas, China, Japan, United States, and Russia, will sit down to discuss a security issue threatening regional peace and stability. It has been nearly 4 years since the 6-party talk convened its first round of meetings. And worse, the talks have remained in hiatus for the last 4 years. Consequently, the issue the talks were created to solve is more menacing, not less. And today, as all you know, the situation on the Korean Peninsula seems reminiscent of a crisis in 1994. Bellicose rhetoric, heightened tensions, and absence of dialogue, the threat of war. Pyongyang maintains that the United States poses a threat to its security. It claims it is responding to the recent round of the UN Security Council sanctions on the country and in response to North Korea's 3rd nuclear test conducted in February this year. Recently, North Korea has stated that it rejects denuclearization. It has threatened the nuclear war against the United States. It has cut communication channels with South Korea and virtually shut down the last remaining symbol of the active inter-Korean cooperation, the Kaesong Industrial Complex. It is here that we wait in a standoff. And the danger of misperception that could lead to a conflict looms large. And what can be done? The 6-party talks was the dispute resolution mechanism that was created to help us to avoid the deja vu we are experiencing today. Have the talks demonstrated Asia's wisdom, success, and effectiveness in resolving serious security matters? Is a return to the 6-party talks possible? And even if the 6-party forum resumes, can the talks effectually resolve the North Korean nuclear issue, the task it was set to accomplish? I'm going to briefly explain the past achievements the 6-party talks recorded. Specifically, 3 key agreements were forged under the rubric of the 6-party talks. The September 2005 joint statement signed in Beijing, the February 2007 action plan, and the October 2007 action plan agreement once again. Here, the September 2005 joint statement House stands. And in it, in essence and in summary, North Korea will have to give up all nuclear weapons and all existing nuclear programs. And United States will not attack, will not deploy either conventional forces or nuclear weapons to threaten Pyongyang's security. And this means U.S. will guarantee the peace and stability in the North Korea. And then South Korea made a commitment to help energy and economic assistance in return. And then there are other agreements that includes to promote the economic cooperation from other parties, and particularly to work toward U.S. DPRK and DPRK Japan normalization relations and so forth. The common goal of all the actors to the talks has been to persuade North Korea to denuclearize. The forging of these three agreements exemplifies the significant and substantial achievements made in this direction. Regrettably, however, missed deadlines, unwelcome remarks, lingering suspicions, hardline positions, but most of all, general lack of political will on all sides to move the six-party diplomacy forward and to carry out the bargain struck led to ineffectiveness of the talks and the ongoing limbo. During those 4 years of hiatus, security situation has worsened dramatically, as witnessed by North Korea's subsequent missile launches several times and second and third nuclear tests. Asia's actors value cooperation, but if that is true going forward, what they need to show is greater willingness to sustain the multilateral six-party dialogue. Only by demonstrating that willingness to regional multilateralism will the parties be able to show Asia's wisdom and effectiveness in dispute resolution in the security realm. To do this, the actors to the six-party talks must work together with more vigor and seriousness to achieve the goals set out in the six-party talks agreements, starting with what was written in the September 29 joint statement. Let me conclude. To resolve the North Korean nuclear issue, stronger diplomatic efforts, in particular from the China and the United States, are needed to bring North Korea back to the dialogue table. In mid-April, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and China's State Councilor Yang Jiechi came together in Beijing in stating that both the U.S. and China remain fully committed to the September 2005 joint statement of the six-party talks and to its core goal, verifiable denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula in a peaceful manner. They also joined together to call on North Korea to refrain from provocations and to abide by international agreements. The U.S. has said it will not accept North Korea as a nuclear state. And U.S. policy toward North Korea is said to rest on 4 principles: close and expanded cooperation with its allies, Japan and South Korea, the refusal to reward bad behavior, and a commitment to homeland defense and defense of U.S. allies, and willingness to help North Korea develop its economy and feed its people if North Korea chooses a better path. But as Washington is guided by these principles and to coordinate more with its allies, it must also be willing to demonstrate more flexibility to encourage Pyongyang to return to dialogue. And even if it means bilateral discussions first to bring us back to the multilateral six-party framework. China, too, is certainly concerned about the current situation. And Beijing wants peace, not instability, in the region. Its policy toward North Korean Peninsula, the Korean Peninsula, has always been no war, no instability, no nuclear programs. Some experts believe that denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula may not be as high a priority for China as it is for South Korea and the United States. But a provocative and belligerent and nuclear-armed North Korea could jeopardize regional peace and stability, especially if it convinces South Korea and Japan to eventually go nuclear. Such a scenario has the danger of leading to an even worse nuclear brinkmanship in our region. That would not be in China's interests. As of late, China has shown tougher posture toward North Korea. China supported UN Security Council resolutions which criticized North Korea's recent missile launch and nuclear test. This demonstrates China's concern for maintaining stability in the region, and to a degree, for upholding international rules and norms concerning nuclear proliferation. The Chinese public has also expressed recently anti-North Korean sentiments, condemning North Korea's nuclear test. So there is a limit to how much China will tolerate from its neighbor. Beijing must also exercise greater efforts to influence Pyongyang to curb North Korea's provocative nuclear brinkmanship and persuade North Korea to return to the six-party dialogue in good faith and to denuclearize. As a global leader, China should take more responsibility to champion non-nuclear, non-proliferation norms and to invigorate the regional multilateralism it helped to initiate 10 years ago. As for South Korea, the incumbent president has emphasized trust politics with North Korea. And South Korea, too, will not accept a nuclear-armed North Korea. Seoul will need to demonstrate more skillful diplomacy to bring Washington and Beijing together on the issue of North Korea. South Korea must work with all actors to the six-party talks to help convince North Korea to stop ratcheting up tensions, change course, and come back to the negotiation table, and engage in true dialogue on all levels. All actors to the talks must show greater sensitivity to each other's wants and fears. All actors, including North Korea, must work to improve the environment for confidence-building steps to re-emerge and for trust to develop. The September 2005 agreement is the starting point for us to look to. This multilateral agreement must be carried out. Only then can the actors of Northeast Asia talk of wisdom and success in dispute resolution concerning nuclear proliferation. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
谢谢李教授。我觉得我们很幸运，出了几次技术故障，但是呢，我们不但完成了演讲，而且还留下了5分钟时间进行讨论。我想这样，我们还是看大家的意见，我们呢，还是进行一下讨论。大家可以选择，如果说大家更想早吃饭，那就少提问题；如果大家想多讨论一下，那你们就提问题。我们可以稍微延长一点。好，张启雄教授第一位，下面请。
我想首先这个 向石烟华教授请教外交问题的智慧。就是说，这个石老师的说法是，目前不能解决的问题就暂时搁置。当然，这个我也非常的这个同意这样的一个看法。不过啊，在中国的历史上啊，他也有解决这个问题的智慧，有过这样的智慧。比如说这个，在这个清代啊，中日之间呢、曾经有琉球两属的问题。中国跟越南之间呢、也有老挝跟柬埔寨的问题，就是就是柬埔寨跟老挝曾经向中国朝贡，但是也向越南朝贡。那这个琉球被这个萨摩藩占领之后啊，事实上这个琉球一直向中国朝贡，可是萨摩藩并不敢让人家知道说他这个占领了这个琉球，所以是偷偷的占领。但是也这样，这个平安了几百年。我想韩国跟中国之间，也有类似的问题，就是说抹合这样的一个民主曾经向，这个中国跟高句丽或者呼吁也朝贡过。我想这个问题是不是也可以提供我们今天作为借鉴？它简单的讲，其实就是你的也是我的，容许各自表述，从双方的那里头去抽出它最大的公约数，这是我的看法。另外，我对韩国的李珠新教授提出一个，应该说类似于质问吧。假如说韩国也有核子武器的话，今天我们要求你不要有核子武器，你要怎么办？就说我们要求的要付出什么样的代价，你才会接受？换句话说，我们今天要让北韩拿掉他的这个核武器，他已经花了那么长的时间去开发，花了那么多的财力去经营。今天我们突然要他拿掉核武器，我们应该付出什么样的代价，他才愿意接受？谢谢各位。
我们先把问题提完之后一起回答。
我有一个简短的一个评论，是关于这个李教授的这个。另外一个问题是向这个越南的杜教授，关于朝核问题啊，我觉得现在，其实我同意刚才张老师刚刚讲的，朝核问题上，我们现在第一个应该谋求的不是说让朝鲜弃核，而是应该防止核扩散，包括核材料和核技术扩散。第二个呢，我们应该是谋求在中期这么一个目标，能够让朝鲜以某种条件换取朝鲜冻结核开发和核试验。第三个远期的目标能不能实现，我并不是个人很乐观，那才是可以才谋求。当朝鲜就尤其南北朝鲜关系以及朝鲜内部经济社会政治发展达到真正的一个就是稳定的状态之后，让北朝鲜有足够的自信，那时候才有可能实现弃核的这么一种这个选择和方案。那么我这个问题的话呢，是对这个杜教授，就是我们对于就是南海，包括南沙、西沙群岛，其实包括北部湾，就是中越两国之间是有不同的历史依据，也主张我以此一些我们的历史权利。那么刚才您在这个画图的时候，其中也讲到了有一点是白龙尾岛。那么对于这个的话呢，中方对这个白龙尾岛的地位和历史啊，还包括它的归属问题的话，我们其实应该说是有一定的自己的看法。我想问一下，就是这个杜先生，你们从越南的角度对这个白龙尾岛的这个相关的这些问题是怎么的一个解释和一个看法？好，谢谢。
还有其他问题吗？没有的话，那我们就开始回答。我想顺序是施老师、李教授、杜教授。
我谢谢这个张教授的这个提问啊。我觉得， 在高句丽问题上面呢，实际上现在各自的一种表现形式的话呢，就是各有各的表述吧。现在我认识的一个好朋友啊，也是延边大学的蒋洪山教授呢，其实他很早就提出这样一个观点，叫一体二用。就是在高句丽这个，它到底是中国古代的少数民族政权，还是朝鲜古代史的组成部分？所以看起来是很原则的这个争执啊。但是他的主张就是说，你韩国人、朝鲜人，你尽可以把它作为你们古代史的组成部分啊，因为它是三国时代，三个时代，如果把高句丽拿掉了，它变成两个时代了，那这个它完全可以这么说。但是中国呢，也可以按照中国人的说法，这个就是中国古代的少数民族政权啊，这个叫一体二用啊，一体二用。那么在早期呢，是曾经受到我们国内学术界一起批评的。那么经历了高句丽事件以后啊，这样一种观点呢，得到了比较多的人的认同啊。那么现在实际的情况呢，就是这样，你韩国人的教科书，韩国人的说法，那是你韩国人说，对吧？那么中国人是中国人的说法，你这个互相不要把这样的事情呢弄到大街上去，这个闹得整个两个民族这个闹翻啊。我讲的各自是这个意义上，别去闹，这个事情没意思的，要避开它啊，避开它。你说你的，我说我的，我基本上是这样一种看法，而且现在实际情况就是这样。谢谢。
Okay, thank you, Professor Zhang and Professor Shin for interesting questions. I hope I understood your question correctly. At the moment, South Korea does not possess nuclear weapons, and South Korea has no nuclear programs for the military purposes. We are contained by the agreement with the United States on atomic energy, and therefore we do not have nuclear weapons on the southern parts of the South Korean peninsula, South Korea, and we have no capability to develop nuclear programs in military purposes. However, we are provided by the so-called extended deterrence by United States, which include the nuclear umbrella. Okay. Then secondly, of course, for North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons and existing programs, we have to, in return, we have to pay. But this is surely a matter of bargain. It's a give and take in a way. It's a negotiation and it's a transaction in a way. So North Korea will give up the nuclear weapons and programs, then South Korea, China, US, Japan will have to reward in return energy assistance, economic assistance, cooperation, normalization of the relations, as I mentioned in my presentation. So those are the rewards for North Korea in giving up its nuclear programs. So it's two ways. It's two ways. It's not okay. You have to give up your nuclear weapons. That's not the six-party process is all about. Six-party talks and the particular agreement, September 29th joint statement, is a very comprehensive package of this give and take process. For us, I think this is a process. This is a process. There are certain steps in reaching our ultimate goal. There is nuclear-free North Korea or Korean Peninsula. So at the moment, we have to focus on non-proliferation. That is correct. and that's U.S. policy as well. But that is not enough. We have to make more efforts to go into even deeper, even stronger step. And at the moment, we have to freeze the nuclear activities that is going on in North Korea. And then we may approach something like disable all the nuclear programs running in North Korea. And then we may talk about dismantling the existing nuclear weapons. We can talk about nuclear bombs and other potential weapons developed out of uranium enrichment program. So this is a gradual approach and step-by-step approach that are all agreed by the six countries. Thank you.
好，那谢谢辛教授提出的问题。已经介绍了关于北部湾快捷的谈判，经过27年，49轮会谈。在关于北浪尾这个岛，中方已经承认是属于越南主权。这个协议签订以后，其建国他已经在中国电视台解释这个问题。但是如果这个岛有效力，那么把这个分定欠于中国方面，引导不公平的结果。大家都知道，1956年，56年，毛泽东还在后，他已经把这个北浪尾还给越南。当时越南在这个岛屿已经有了还给的典礼，但是越南没有船可以从内地到这个岛的送给了国务，所以中方还赠送越南2个船，现在2个船还存在。那么按照这个中方的要求，所以这个分定的线离北浪尾15海里，这表明这个北浪尾的只有享受领海是12海里，同时大陆架只有25%效力，所以这个双方要尽照顾到各方的需求和利益，所以这个北浪尾没有全部的效力，只有20%的效力。但是中方承认北浪尾属于越南的主权，你可以打电话跟齐建国联系。齐建国当时是中方的专家小组组长，他已经跟我讲，他签订以后有很多中国朋友不了解，告诉他是卖国贼，所以他也在电视台解释这个问题，你跟他继续联系。关于越南来讲，我们谈判以后对老百姓很仔细的解释，但是中方是没有在报纸没有公开的解释，所以很多人没有了解这个问题。谢谢。
双方都要解释，比如黑沙之岛，对吧？
好，谢谢杜教授。张教授想还再讲一句话。
刚刚这个李教授提出来的这个看法，我有些不解的地方，就是说，假如朝鲜提出的条件，日本、美国、韩国不能接受，因为上次的6方会谈的失败啊，曾经有过这样的教训。 而且美国也不愿意履行条件，所以最后造成这个朝鲜恢复的这个核子试验。我想美日韩如何保证他能够愿意付出代价，我想这是非常重要的关键。
我们也不继续了。那么总算顺利结束了，我松了一口气，没有再出问题。那么谢谢我们的4位报告人贡献他们的思想，谢谢我们大家做了这么长时间。最后呢，我想我们要谢谢我们的翻译人员和我们的工作人员，他们比我们更着急。最后我们鼓一下掌，对他们的工作表示感谢。好，请大家吃饭。